Okay, mic check, mic check. Grand rise, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat, if I'm coming through loud and clear. Again, testing, testing. Okay, grand rise. Again, guys, let me know if you're able to hear me in chat. The audio's coming through, if you guys can see the charts. Okay, testing audio. All right, let me know in the chat, guys, if you can hear me, and we will get started. Okay, testing, testing. Guys, let me know if you can hear audio. All right, UD, appreciate that. We will get rocking and rolling. All right, so here we go, guys. Dollar currently dropping. Okay, so my two major plays, and then this JPY is starting to rise. It has swept the liquidity that it engineered, that fair value gap, and it's broken past the demand level. So we technically have broken a low, which means we could continue falling. But so this is the low. Okay, All right, we can get rid of this for now. That's all over with. Okay, so we broke this low on the JPY, but we're kind of respecting this support level that we have here. And again, we can begin to rise now. All right, typically that is the cycle. You get a break, you create a new low. It hasn't created it yet. It's just a structure low. It's not a swing low. All right, so you guys need to know the difference between the two. Here's a quick overview. All right, this is your structure high and low. This is your swing high and swing low. All right, this is giving us a structure low. This example here, okay, it has not given us a swing low. This example here. All right, hopefully that's making sense. If it is, again, hit that like and subscribe button for you, boy. All right, so with that not creating a swing low, we don't have any real low point that we can reference to say, okay, now price is going to begin to potentially rise, right? At this point, we're just still falling, right? It's just stalling at this moment. It hasn't given any kind of reversal, right? No bulls have really shown up significantly enough to stop price from falling, right? Giving us that V shape. Okay, so again, critical things to know, right? Very, very simplistic, but critical in terms of being able to identify when price is potentially going to reverse, retrace, pull back, correct, etc. Right? But this is so far, giving us a little rejection of the bears. So, we could be pretty hopeful, if you will, that price will start to rise. All right, and with that comes, with our JPY pairs falling, UJ being one of the biggest ones right now that I'm looking at, because the dollar, right, that we just reviewed here is beginning to fall from the supply area. Okay, so yes, we do have an area right above it that it can still get to, because again, we're still bullish, right? And that's the thing, right? You guys have to just continuously know how to restructure on whichever time frame that you're on. So here's your run, here's your pullback, here's your run, all the way, here's your pullback, here's your run. And so now, this is where it's kind of giving us the notion that it's failing to get higher, because once we were here, we should have gotten to here, right? We should have broke this high and gotten up to this area, right? So because we didn't do that, it begs the question, well, hey, what's going on right here? Why can't you, why are you facing more bearish pressure instead of breaking through and getting higher? That's just something to pay attention to. And so with that, we're getting this bearish push in this same zone, right? The same supply zone that makes it, seem like we can't get above it. So if that's the case, then potentially we're heading down to break this low, okay, which will be what we call a change of character. All right, I have a F in front of this, right, for fractal or fractional change of character, right? That's just me identifying that the change is happening on the pullback. All right, so it's not a major change in the overall uptrend structure, right? This is just a minor change in the pullback of that uptrend. Hopefully that makes sense. If it didn't, let me know. I'll try to break that down some more. All right, but pretty much we can get the dollar to fall right now. All right, and it has given us a nice retracement already, right, back to this particular, I'll put supply here, but we can even hit it with one of these numbers with the fair value gap that was sitting right in this area. Okay, and that's exactly, pretty much where it got to. Okay, so with that, like I said, we can start to fall. All right, so we got a trend line. We all know liquidity sits behind trend lines. Okay, so boom, we got that. and get rid of this consolidation for now. All right, this is the demand area, but so it did break above that high, technically, right? It broke above, so this is an official demand area. All right, so that drop, right, that we're expecting on the dollar could be short-lived, right? We can push down into this demand and then continue rising. So it'll be a situation where we, as we're pushing down, we don't really break, right? Is what I'm getting at. We just, do a little dance, okay, and then we take back off to the upside, doing what it should have done the last time it was here, right? When it got out, it should have broke above this high, but it didn't. So maybe it's going to gear up, right? Call his buddies, say, hey, we need some more bulls. We couldn't do it the last time. So this time, possibly, getting above. All right. But for the time being, I'm going with the drop. All right. Because we got to get here to call all the bulls and then potentially, push up. Right. It's so funny how this turns into storytelling, if you will, or some kind of, possibility, adventure possibilities. Right. But we can get here and they're asking, hey, bulls, we need you guys. We gotta go, right? We gotta fight. We gotta win this battle, right? And the bulls are like, nah, we chilling. And then the bears are like, yeah, but we here though, right? We'll do something. Okay, so it's just one of those situations, guys, where there's a bunch of possibilities when we get into this zone, right? In terms of whether we respect it or break it or disrespect it, right? And break it. But you won't really know until the candles tell you so. Okay, so just once again, everything boils down to knowing how to read the candles, knowing how to read market structure, and going off of what it's telling you. Okay, it's just like a cookbook, if you will, right? If it says put a pound of flour and quarter teaspoon of sugar and a pinch of salt or whatever to make some cookies, right? That's exactly what you do, right? You do exactly what it's telling you, and you should have some cookies, all right? So if the chart is telling me, hey, you should sell because this happened and that happened, or this ingredient was put in, that ingredient was put in, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sell and hopefully I make these cookies, right? Come out right. Okay, it's a lot of trying to put it in the most simplest way to kind of explain it to you guys, but it all varies, right? But just really, before you can do the cookbook, right, and make the cookies, you gotta know how to read. Right? You get what I'm saying? If you don't know how to read the words, you stuck like Chuck. Okay, so that's just that, guys. I'm expecting a drop here on the dollar. Hopefully we get it, because UJ is one of the plays that I'm excited to drop. Now, yes, I did lose it as it pushed up above this supply area. But again, that was just a few pips in terms of what I had going on. So now, once again, like I told you guys yesterday, it's not about the L's, right? Or at least it's not about taking yourself out when you get an L, right? It's just about lining yourself back up for the possibility to re-enter, because we can see that this is definitely a huge imbalance that has not been filled. We see that there's a trend line on this up move that has liquidity sitting behind it. So once again, I'm aiming for, the same thing I was before, just looking for a better entry, which I'll most likely get now because price is higher, okay? And it swept liquidity above this particular high. On top of that, right, when we zoom in here, okay, what you guys will see is that we just got a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, so the body of this candle right here has engulfed the previous one, basically meaning that if we wanted to, we can fit this candle body inside of this candle body, right? So that tells me there's been an engulfing, right, a takeover, right, a takeover of the bears showing up versus what the bulls were doing. So when you guys look at all of this, right, even all of this price action, you don't see any candle that after it made a major move up, it made a major move back down, right, with the same size of the candle or bigger, mainly bigger, right? That hasn't happened, right? There's no engulfing candle anywhere as you push up until we get to here, which is significant because it's at a supply area. It's at a very extreme high. All right, and you guys can see that from that move up. So this is now beginning to look more appetizing in terms of a drop. Okay, so what we're going to do is get to the 12-minute, I'm sorry, not 12-minute, the 15-minute time frame. All right, and we're going to analyze that in detail. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys the Asian consolidation. Okay, Asian persuasion. All right, shout out to any Asians that may be in the building. All right, if you are, shout out where you're from. All right, but here's the Asian session. All right, guys, and we have taken out the high of the Asian session, right? So what should be taken out, or what's left to be taken out, is the low. All right, so if we just wanted to do a quick scalp, right, we can see that we had uptrend structure here. Again, just reading, right, that cookbook. Okay, we see that we had a slight trend line break. Okay, we also see that we had a bit of a wedge or rising channel, however you want to look at that. All right, and we kind of see that we almost broke this low, right? We haven't done it yet to get a change from up to down. We haven't gotten it yet, but it's very, very close. All right, so if we happen to get that break, this area most likely will be our supply area. Okay, once again, the last candle before the bearish push down that broke this low, but this may be the supply area as well, right here, because this is where it kind of really initiated from in terms of breaking that low, right? And it gave us a fair value gap. So I'm just going to leave this right here, right, as we go along. All right, I'm going to get rid of this major supply because it's a whole lot. Get rid of the short position. All right, now we got a clean chart. We can see what we need to see. Okay, and that's something that you guys need to, learn how to start doing, right? Make your charts as super clean as possible so that you can visibly see what you need to make your decision. But I got a good feeling, guys, that we're going to drop from here and we're going to respect this high. So I'm selling $JPY right now. All right, and again, if you guys see what I see, right, then go ahead and take advantage. Now you can get away with the tight stop like right here, right? And again, that's your prerogative if you want to do that, right? That's just 12 pips, okay? But I'm giving myself a little wiggle room, right, above this particular high, right, to survive any kind of, little wickiness that it may have above it. All right, and your main goal would be to aim for the Asian session low, right? But you can see when you look left a little bit, there's some equal highs. I'm sorry, equal lows, right here, right here, right here, and right here, followed by some imbalance. Okay, and then a bit of a swing low here. So you're aiming, okay. Your short position is on. Again, guys, get into UJ if you're just joining. All right, I will pop this in the chat in just a second. All right, so again, you're aiming initially for this low. That's 80 pips. All right, congratulations, UJ pays. Okay, if you aim for the liquidity of these equal lows, that's 112 pips. Okay, and if you aim for this particular fair value gap or imbalance, right, to where this swing just so happens to be, now you're at 154 pips. That's all you need, okay, to succeed. And here we are, right? Guys, hit that like and subscribe button for me. All right, here is your trade on UJ for the drop. It's looking hot, and we're going to give it what we got. All right, let's get it. Early in the morning, get into it as usual. And I'm sure you guys saw the drop on the indices yesterday. Y'all know I was advocating that all morning, and boy oh boy did we get it right after we got out the live, right around 10-11 o'clock. Complete drop. And it was fueled by a whole bunch of stuff. right? Trade craziness between China and blah, blah, blah. People profit taking from, moves up on the indices. The list goes on and on. All right. But I prepped you guys for it. You guys should have been able to take advantage if you were in the mix yesterday. All right. So now that CHF JPY, I'm not sure if I lost that or if it says stop loss order. So I might have lost that trade. Might have hit my stop loss. But either way, we're in UJ this morning. All right, guys. This is a market sell now. Okay. Your entry. Again, all the numbers are on the screen. All right, so your entry is in 152611. All right, stop loss 152859. Again, that's just 24 pips. Take profit 151063. 154 pips on that. Again, guys, the most key critical thing that you can do in this situation, yes, it is a good setup. Yes, it is high probability, but you will erase all of that if you put too high of a lot size on your trade. Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some literature. All right. Don't do it. Keep it low. Right. Look at your loss. Right. 24 pips. We can all do the math when you do the lots. Right. We know we're getting 10 cents per pip on a micro. We're getting $1 per pip on a mini. And we're getting $10 per pip on a standard. So guys, you got a realm here, right? You're either going to lose $24, you're going to lose $240, or you're going to lose two bands, right? 2,400, right? What can you afford to lose without crying about it? Okay, whatever that lot size is, that's what you put in. Okay, actually, I'm sorry, it's not $24 on a micro. It was $2.40. All right, and then it's $24 on a mini, and then it's 240 on a standard. So my bad with the math, but you guys understand where I'm coming from, right? It's making sure that you don't put too much hot sauce on these so that in the event you lose it, it's not really damaging the bank account, right? The balance. Okay. So UJ, good to go. Speaking of the J's, right? I'm hopping over to GJ because that was setting up and looking good. And I'm already in it. All right. Look at that. So here, take you guys back higher because I was talking about not selling it previous days because it had the equal highs and there was liquidity behind the equal highs. And what do you know? It went to sweep liquidity and now it's beginning to fall, right? So now I'm excited, right? Or clearly I've already sold it a little before the session, all right? Because, I saw what I needed to see. The JPY is looking pretty good, all right, in terms of, there we go, respecting the low, all right, giving us indecision on that candle, and hopefully, right, again, a push to the upside, right, that will bless us, right, even a small move up to here will bless us on the J's, but if we get up to here or higher, oh boy, you could forget about it. Okay, we're getting 3, 4, 500 pips on these JPY pairs, all right. Again, put it in perspective. We were going just for about 150 pips, right, on UJ. All right, I'm gonna take you guys back real quick. All right, there's UJ. We're just aiming for this little area right here, but the imbalance is all the way down here. So, we're getting 154 pips, but there's 516 on the table. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to, put this all in perspective, guys. We're getting from the very, very tippy top, right? Again, you can see, right? And again, most people don't always see this, but you can see the cycle, all right, of any given trading week. We consolidate, okay? We mark up, okay? We distribute, right? And then we decline, all right? Those are typically how things look. So let me give you guys a diagram of that, right? One more time. You get consolidation. Okay, so it's really kind of like this. You consolidate, you break up, right? You consolidate and then you break down and then you end flat, or vice versa. You consolidate, you break down, you consolidate, then you break up and you end flat, right? Somehow or another throughout the week, you're going to see some variation of the either one. Okay, here, look at this. This would be the variation of this one right here. So from this week to the end of the week, we came out, we pushed up, we doing a little dance right now at that push up, and then we're going to decline for today and tomorrow, and then we're going to end up almost somewhere right to where we were. Okay, for this example, that'll be over here, right? From this week, somewhere over here in this week. So you can see we consolidated, right? Consolidated coming out the week. Then we got a major drop, all right? Only issue was where we did this part. Once we made the low, once we kind of just wiggled around a little bit before we pushed up, it just happened to fly into next week. You understand what I'm saying? But after a while, guys, I promise y'all gonna start seeing the pattern, which is the same every day, right? Just in different forms, different variations. And it's just a situation where you gotta know how to read between the lines. You gotta see what's going on from, just reading the structure, and then you'll be able to really knock this stuff out the park. Okay. So there's UJ, again 150. We're in profit right now, about 4 pips or so, and just a whole lot on the table in terms of getting paid today and tomorrow as a payday, right? But GJ is what I want, all right? And again, getting to that 15-minute time frame, bring you guys on in, right? Remove the short position. Remember, clean everything up as much as possible so that you can read what you need to read to succeed, all right? Here, see a nice trend line, okay? Boom, bam. All right. We got up to that fair value gap, right to the middle of it, respected it. So now what'll really make this boom is a break below here. All right. We haven't gotten it yet. So yes, I sold prematurely. All right. I sold without confirmation. Okay. I'm okay with that. Right. It's my prerogative. But I'm just letting you guys know that selling with confirmation is better, okay? Because this is definitely telling me that now we have broken the trend line, we have broken this low, and we potentially want to continue going lower, right? That's what that is, right? What we have here is just me trying to jump the confirmation process, okay? So as we get down to break that low, I'm trying to take advantage of that, right? And so far, so good. Okay. Yeah, so if you guys are seeing what I'm saying, and then again looking at this from a higher time frame, well, before we go to the higher time frame, again, just want to show you guys how you can get in and out of here, right? Because price pushing all the way down for 500, 400 pips, all of that good stuff, yeah, it sounds nice, right? But it takes time. Most traders don't have patience. It's the one thing that's keeping them from being profitable. Probably the most thing that's keeping them from being profitable, right? So because of that, they don't want to, they're not going to wait days. They're not going to care about, 400, 500 pips, whatever the case may be, right? Plus their nerves will get in the way, right? Anxiety kicks in. You see price going up and down. Now you're up and down like a roller coaster. You don't have any calm. You don't have any confidence, right? So it's just not going to, be a great situation for you. You're going to want to tap out. And then, of course, once you do that, that's when it goes, right? Story of your life. I get it, right? Been there, done that. That's all over with, right? Patience is what I have in huge amounts, okay? I can dish it out to the whole world in terms of how much patience I have, all right? And I'll still have some left over, right? But we, in the Asian session, we came and we did not take out the high, all right? So as we have this bit of structure, right, this bit of equal highs, if you will, right, we can go and get that, right? We can push up, wipe that out, and then do our fall, right? That is a potential, right? That'll be taking out the liquidity sitting in this London session / New York session, as well as the Asian session high. Okay, so the Asian session high is here, right? The equal highs are here, right? And that's all, like me, I sold from here. Look what my stop loss is, above the highs, right? Most other people, if you guys sold, maybe y'all, some of y'all put y'all stop loss right here, right? So there's potential for that to go and get got, right? And then get the drop. But that's why you got to give your stop loss a little wiggle room. When you can identify that, damn, Bain put me on, man, he told me that those areas where price is like swinging away from, or like it's building up at, right? It's money behind that, right? It's money behind the trend lines. Okay, Bain, I get it, man. I get it. So what you're saying is, all right, so wait a little bit, see if that comes out, or just put my orders up here, right? That way I can get in at a higher price if it's selling. Okay, man, it's starting to make sense. No wonder, sometimes I'll get in a trade, man, and it'll take me out. And then right when I look at it again, it be in my favor, man. And I'd be like, what the hell? What did I do wrong? I'm giving it to you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button for your boy. Okay. And this is what it is. So now, with that being said, watch your stop loss. All right. Give it a little wiggle room, or just place your sell limit, right? Easy peasy, especially on TradingView, right? To right click on the chart, and you'll get your options, right, for orders. All right. So you can, bring up the whole window, right, and do all the fun stuff, right? Putting in the numbers and, you know, uh, enabling your take profit, enabling your stop loss, right? Saying if you want it, how do you want it to be enforced, and blah, 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 right? And get to see all the numbers, what you're going to make, what you're going to lose, right? Here's your stop orders, here's your limit orders, market orders, right? Let me give you a quick breakdown. Market orders, you're getting in right now at whatever the price is. Limit order in terms of which side you're on, all right? So this is the key factor, all right? Limit orders basically mean not right now, okay? And the same for stop orders. It means not right now. It means at some other point, right? It means later. So if you're in a sell, right, which this is a sell limit, so you're on limit, right? That means that you're not going to get in where price is currently, right? You only want to get in when price gets to a specific number. Because if you get in right now, right, you're going to be at whatever the bid is, right? Whatever people are willing to buy, whatever that price is that people are willing to buy from you. Okay, that's because you're selling. So who's going to buy from you, right? All right, you're selling. Well, I'll buy it from you. All right, but you're selling it at $50. Well, I don't want to buy it at $50. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's the case, then again, that's what price is saying right now. Price is saying that people don't want to buy at this price right now. I mean, this is where, you want to sell, right? You want to sell at 203, but people are like, nah, that's too high, bro. I don't want to buy that. You get what I'm saying? But, and again, let me just, break this order down. I'm going to go too far, right? But the limit's just saying pending, stops pending, right? Market is right now. So when you're doing a sell limit, you're basically saying, hey, I want to get in at a certain price but you want to sell. And most 9 times out of 10, if you're selling, you want to get in at a high price. So limit is going to be above whatever price is now, which is, there you go, right? Exhibit A. So a sell limit means that you want price to go higher and then put you in for a sell. That is a sell limit. Okay. A sell stop, okay, means that you want price to go lower and then put you in for a sell. But you guys see how these are both just about pending? They have nothing to do with getting in right now, right? They're both pending orders. One is where you want it to go higher and then put you in a sell. One is where you want it to go lower and then put you in a sell. Somebody's like, oh shit, man, I finally got it. God damn, I've been trying to figure out that for years. You're welcome. All right, hit that like and subscribe button for me, ladies and gents. Same thing on the buy side. If you just so happen to be in a trade that you want to buy, you do the market order, you're getting in at whatever the price is between the bid and the ask. You have no idea what that number is going to be. It may be ideal, it may not be, right? With the limit order, again, you're wanting to get into a buy, but you're wanting to get into it when price, it goes down further. Because again, when you buy, you want to buy low, right? So that limit is specifying exactly what that lower number is that you want to get in at before you want price to go up. Okay, so buy limit means you want price to go down, put you into a trade, get you, activate your order at a lower price, and then you're expecting price to go up. Buy stop means the opposite. You expect price to go up, put you in a buy, and then continue going up. All right, again, guys, rewind this. All right, so I'll record it. It'll get you right. Okay, but for right now, we're doing a little dance on GJ, because again, we may sweep that liquidity, right? So then here's our sell limit order, right, getting us in for that possibility with a 34 pip stop loss. That is very, very nice on a pair like GJ, right? It's just what it is. Okay, looking at the JPY, right, still respecting that low, but now pushing down a little lower so we can get to the lower time frame. Keep a close eye on it. All right, and pretty much as we're reading, yes sir, Clarence. Hey, that's my brother name. It's my brother in the building. Clarence was good. Appreciate you coming in and commenting, man. Yeah, I will get you right, man. This is what I do. Okay, this is my passion, man. So trust and believe, you guys are gonna, you're gonna learn today. All right, this is what it's gonna be. All right. So here, on the JPY on this lower time frame, guys, got a little bit of a trend line, right? Kind of seeing a little bit of a wedgie kind of thing going on. Not super pretty or anything, but still identifiable enough to the point where if we get a nice break above, right, we'll need to break this high, right? It'll be better if we break this one, but this is the one that still has broken this low, right? And you see prices going lower. So if we get up and we break above this high right here, okay, guys, that's going to tell me that the JPY is now ready to rise and do its thing, right, to where we start heading back up. And again, all it will take is a move like this to send those JPY pairs tanking. Okay, you'll get at least 100 pips on the JPY, at least, like minimum. Okay, so waiting for this to play out, right, soon and very soon, hopefully. But even if it doesn't, I'm a patient guy, right? I can wait today, I can wait tomorrow, I can wait to next week for it to do what it's going to do, because it's telling me that it's right there, right? You know what I mean? And there's been plenty of days, like we had one last week or the week before last, where the market opened up on Sunday, and literally the time that it opened up, the JPY pair just just shot. It just blew through the roof, right? And because it was already ready that previous week. Here it is, right here. It was this. So on the 3rd of October, Friday. So from Friday, it was ready, right? It came up. It gave us a nice little double top, broke the neckline, retested, and it was ready to drop. But the market had closed that Friday. So Sunday opened, and that thing went right. It just tanked, guys. And you guys are reading all the headlines about JPY this and blah 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 blah, right? But it just tanked. Here we are once again. Almost, it's not Friday yet, right? But we're in the middle of the week, and it's giving this wedginess. It swept this liquidity, swept that liquidity. We're pretty much in the area of demand, because again, you can see this is the last candle right here. All right, before that impulsive move up that broke this structure. You get what I'm saying? And then if we stretch that out, look how we're playing right in that zone at this moment. So again, it's ready, but we don't know how it's going to explode. But listen, if this thing shoots all the way up, fills this gap, hits the supply, I'm not going to be surprised, right? Because I've been here before. I've seen this before, right? Experience is the best teacher, guys. I'm very experienced. Okay, so this is how I'm able to teach the way I teach, right? Again, you guys can get to that level too. I'm not saying you got to be like me. I'm just saying show up, right? Show up, look at the before and after, read what you got to read, be patient, right? Don't overdo it when you do see a good setup, and you will see what's popping. Okay, so here again, guys, waiting for that to happen. So we'll keep it on the 15-minute time frame to be all up in the mix. Okay, and we'll leave it there. Going to the GJ. All right, still playing around. Let's go to UJ. If it'll let me. Come on now. All right, so you're acting up. All right, UJ still playing around in that supply area. Okay, again, it's just what it is, right? But we're prepared for that. We got to stop above the high, right? So we're just going to let it do its thing for the moment. All right, let's go look at some other interesting and exciting things like gold and silver. All right, so if we're expecting the dollar to drop, oh boy, all right, we're expecting gold and silver to rise. My team bought it from the low because that's how it go, and we are up on silver and we're up on gold. We almost hit our take profit on gold. Just peep this real quick, guys. Again, this is what it is when you rock with me, right? I'm not just, trying to, flash things in front of your face. I'm trying to really teach you how to do this for yourself, right? So you can see that it's for real. You don't need to, see a Lamborghini or some shit like that, which again, all nice and dandy. I'm not knocking any of that stuff, right? I'm just saying, like, that's not what it's about. You understand what I'm saying? People have real issues that, money can help with, right? You know what I'm saying? And how do you get the money to help with that if you don't even really know what you're doing? Right? You know what I'm saying? You can, if you one of the ones who want a Ferrari, okay, cool, right? You'll probably get it. You know what I mean? But if you're the one who sees that there is a matrix and you want to get up out of there, you tired of being bossed around and told what to do, how to do, when to do it, all of these good things, and you want that freedom, well, that comes with this, the education of this. That way you can get in here, get what you want, when you want, right? And then do what you want. You feel what I'm saying to you? Like, guys, come on, let's get it together, right? But gold, my team sold it from the very low. You see what I'm saying? And we caught so far 129. Oh, this is this gold. 129 points on gold. That's over 1,290 pips. How many people have caught that many pips before on gold? And just to put it in perspective, this was yesterday, right? Afternoon, right? So somewhere around 12, lunchtime yesterday, right? Bought it, and now, just 21 hours later, right? We got $127 move on gold. That's $127 on a micro. That is $1,270 on a mini, and that's 12K on a standard in less than a day. Guys, come on, let me get that like and subscribe button. Okay, tell a friend to tell a friend, get them on in, guys. They don't have them miss out. This is what they've been looking for. What they've been waiting for. I've been around the block. I've been trying to find who could explain it, who could really, put it in words that I understand, right? Things like that. And it's been a few, right? Shout out to those people, you know what I'm saying, that helped me piece it together. But man, I got it now. You feel me? And it's a wrap. Okay, so we are at a bit of a high, right? Just looking left, last time we were here, we did a drop, right? So there's potential of that happening, right? And getting right back to, this potential demand area before we rise, right? So that is possible. Okay, not saying that it's going to happen right now, right? We can push up some more and then eventually come down and then, do the dance, right? You just don't know. But what you do know is that if it happens to come down here, well, maybe you want to put an order right here, right? Maybe you want to put a buy limit order right in this area. That way, if it does do this, right, the possibility of what it could do, you're ready, right? You stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You're ready, you get activated, it takes off, and you're like, holy camole, I can't believe it, right? I just, I put that in, I went away, I had lunch, came back, and all of a sudden, magic. Okay, so gold and silver, guys, again, I believe they're just going to be on the rise simply because on the dollar, all right, we'll keep it over here. On the dollar, right, we're respecting this. Like I mentioned, we can still rise, but so far we're respecting this. We got that bearish engulfing candle on this, so technically that means we will, continue falling a little bit more. All right, so keep your eyes on the prize with gold and silver. All right, another one that's kind of set up like silver is in our crypto space, Ethereum. All right, look at that. Team is in profit on this one. Call this out. I want to say yesterday as well, or probably late yesterday. Either way, we got into it. You guys can see the massive wick rejection of the support area. We got the trend line break, right? We got price breaking above highs, letting us know that it wants to go higher. So we got confirmation, and then we waited. We waited for that pullback to the demand area, right? With the wick rejection, bulls showed up. We got in. Simple as that. And we're probably gonna win, right? My team's used to that. Okay. But here, we got a nice 812 points on Ethereum. Right? Again, this is $812 on a micro. Okay? Just keep adding a zero for every other lot size that you go up to. Right? Yes, insane. I heard somebody say it. Insane. Right? But guys, get with the program. All right? Anybody wants this Ethereum buy trade, please let me know, because we are at where we currently, entered price the first time, right? So just let me know. I'll throw it in the chat and you guys can have that. All right, take that. No diddy. Okay. But it's just crazy how they dealing them, because it's deeper than what they tell you guys, but we won't get into that. All right. Straight to the money right now. But again, silver and gold, potential drops. All right. So watch out for that. All right. Get into this lower time frame and take away the position. All right. We'll go where we can really see what we need to see. Boom, bam. Right here it is. And I can tell that we are going to get some sort of drop because of the way this is climbing up, right? Whenever you guys see stuff like this, like waviness up like this, like when it has that kind of slant on it where you can put trend lines on it, it's typically gonna do this. Okay, and then let me give you vice versa. So that's your up. So now you have your down, right, where it goes like this, right? When you guys kind of see that, like when it's doing like this, typically it's going to go up. You get what I'm saying? So here it is, just another little gem to getting you guys to identify when you may possibly get some move in, a particular direction based off of what the candles are doing, right? They give you these patterns all day, every day, right? Left and right, right and left, up and down, right? It's just, can you read it or can you not? Right? Somebody looked at this and they had no idea. Now they look at it and they like, oh shit. Okay, I see it, right? This is all sideways. You understand? This is all kind of straight down. But this right here, what's up with that? Right? What's going on with that? Okay, oh, I see. Bain told me. He told me what you got to do. He said, man, it might sweep this. It might sweep that. Either way, right? Which one is more ideal for you? Right, in terms of what the overall market structure is telling you from the higher time frame. Well, from the higher time frame, I know that we got this push up from demand, and we're looking at this area where we are now, where we previously kind of dropped from. Again, I see this imbalance here, right? I see this fair value gap that we're mitigating right now, right? So these are points of where, what do we see? Bearish pressure. Bearish pressure. Guys, it's somebody's like, holy, somebody getting excited. I can feel it. All right, they're like, yeah, man, this somebody knows something. Okay, right, and there you have it, guys. So if you want, we're at the top of the tiny wedge or channel, if you will, and we can take a nice short position coming down, right, to this area. So most likely it's going to be here, because price all here, it looks efficient, meaning I don't see any gaps, right? I don't see any demand areas, etc., etc. This is like your last demand area right here. Last candle before the push up that breaks this high, breaks that high, breaks this high, right? So this is most likely where you want to aim to if you're going to scalp silver, right? You can go down to the 1 minute time frame on silver. This is where the scalpers get busy, right? And look, yes, that's a lot of noise, right? And most people just are like, I don't want to know. I ain't dealing with that. But it's because they don't really know that that scalper came from the 15-minute time frame, which is their higher time frame, being able to see what the possibilities were, right? So again, a lot of rejection, a lot of rejection. We may not drop, right? Because we're getting higher, right? The lows keep getting higher and higher and higher to the point where we might just break on out of here and just, take off, right? Everything's a gamble, guys, right? You just got to be, you got to understand which gamble are you okay with taking, right? Do I feel better taking the sell? Do I feel better taking the buy, right? Based off of whatever you can read, whatever you can analyze, right? And that's what it really boils down to. The dollar's dropping. All right. So if the dollar has a correlation with silver, where when the dollar drops, silver rises, maybe you feel better about taking the buy instead of the sell, even though there's potential for the sell, right? But who knows? It may not all be about the correlation at that particular time. It may be that the dollar is falling and silver's falling, right? So you may be someone who's like, forget correlation. I'm just going to go off this chart pattern and this area that has selling pressure, right? And I'm going to just take my chance on the sell because there's imbalance that needs to be filled, right? And there's a good possibility that we can go and get that. All right, Nick, what's happening? So, this is all what you're faced with, guys, right? This trading stuff is psychological, it's mental toughness, it's memorization, right? It's comparison, right? The before and the after. How many times have you seen this? How many times have you done this? How many times did you actually pull the trigger? How many times did you actually back test your strategy? How many times have you, just how many? If you can't answer that question, if you ain't got no track record, if you can't look in your book and see all of those millions of notes, this ain't for you, right? This, it's just not, all right? I'm just keeping it, all the way because, guys, so many people want it, but they don't want it. You feel what I'm saying? Like everybody says they want it, but only the ones who showing up this morning, right? Y'all the ones who really want it, right? This is the action behind the words. You guys are like, you know what, man? I'm gonna get in that live. I'm gonna try to figure something out. I'm gonna see what he's talking about, right? Whether I understand it or not, right? I'm gonna just show up. And then if it's something, that seems a little complex or whatever, I'm gonna ask him about it. Let's see what he says, right? I'm thinking about this. Let me see what he think about that. Oh man, we match up. That's crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, guys, this is how you, okay? That's how you level up, level up, level up, level up. All right. So again, just mixing around with, the commodities with gold and silver, potential drops, right? But overall, I'm bullish on the both of them because, they just been going crazy with the economic times. These are your safe havens. Everybody's buying them up. And technically from where it was here, right? It's at a big discount in these areas. And this is why my team bought it on discount. We took advantage of that, right? Yeah, it may drop a little bit. We'll take away some profits from us if we didn't lock in profits. All right. But it will, give us another opportunity if it drops to buy it at another discounted price. And then by that time, we could just have deja vu, right? Where we're kind of getting in at the same price point, and then now it really, really takes off, fills this imbalance, breaks this high, potentially go to break this high, right? And make the new highs. And you're hearing it all in the news, man, silver, is at 55, blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, Bain already told me, y'all late. Y'all late. All right. Gold, right? Same look. Said we at that level where we can drop, but gold's still rising, still about to pop, and my team is about to hit take profit on that, guys. It's just stupid, right? A lot of imbalance, a lot of imbalance, a lot of imbalance that has not been balanced, right? At some point in time, it will get filled, right? We don't know when, right? Gold could do all of this. It can come down, it can go up, come down, it come here, it go there, it go this, go that, right? It could do all of this stuff, guys, but at some point, each one of these imbalanced areas will get filled. And somebody's, buying from this low, buying from that low, particularly buying from this low, right? Buying from this low, and this low. And each one of those people who bought at lows made money, made money, made money, made money, made money. All right. I hope it's coming together. All right. Just trying to put it together, ladies and gents. All right. So this morning, again, expecting the dollar to drop. All right. For now, expecting this JPY to get up out of here, stop playing and rise. So that, oh, yeah, right on time. You heard me. You heard me. Go ahead. Keep pushing. Right. so that we can have our J's go the way that we want them to. But let's also see if there's anything else worthwhile. Check out our indices. Okay, and like clockwork, because the dollar looks bearish, the indices are rising. All right, so I do expect it to now go and take out these highs. Right, so we got the break, but now this is all the pullback to our key areas. Key areas will be your supply area. So I'm gonna clean up the chart a little bit on these indices. All right, and just kind of show you guys the possibilities. Right, once again, from our break that we had yesterday, it gave us this supply area right here. All right, and we're kind of testing that, respecting that at the moment. But again, like I said, if the dollar drops, we can see price try to get these equal highs sitting here. Okay, and once again, we have these equal highs as well. So what I'm getting at, right, is that on SPY we can push up, sweep this, sweep that, and then potentially get the next drop. All right, but also we can just get the drop right now. Right, you understand what I'm saying? It came right to our supply, rejected it, and it's already falling. So we could just go fall. Right, this is where you want to look at taking your money first, and then leaving a runner to see if it'll go down to the next swing. Right, and then possibly from there taking out that extreme low. Right, that's how it goes. So pick your poison on how you guys want to go about it, but I'm just trying to lay out the foundation of the possibilities. Okay, looking at SPY on this 15-minute time frame, and we can tighten things up in terms of our markup. All right, so hold on one second. Okay, we are at the top of the hour, guys, so make sure that you ask those questions, all right, before I'm up out of here. Okay, take advantage right now. So I was looking for that supply, and technically we found it on the higher time frame, so it's this entire area. But here on this 15-minute time frame, it's this area right here. Last candle before that impulsive move down that basically got us in a lot of profit yesterday. So we're here now. So guys, y'all might want to take this sell, right, just like this, and just keep your stop right above supply. That's only 16 points on SPY, guys. Right, you're already getting a 1 to 2 just coming down to this little area, this little swing low. Right, 38 points. Okay, again, micro $38. All right, mini 380. Right, and standard 3 bands. Okay, that's how it's going. This small move, which you can make in a blink of an eye, because look, we're on a 15-minute time frame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's an hour. 1, 2, 30 minutes. Right, hour and 30 minutes, you can make 3 bands. If you could take out a standard lot on SPY, it's crazy. Okay, guys, crazy. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. We get to it. All right, there's that liquidity that it may want to go and get. You never know. All right, but you got to play it somehow, some way. All right, stretch it down. Right, and there is 67 points. Right, 6 bands on the standard. Okay, 6 bands on a standard, and it can happen in no time. Okay, either way, let's get over to NAS, see what NAS looking like. Most likely just like SPY. Yep, indeed. So I'm going to clean up the charts. All right, get rid of this and that and everything in between. All right, let's really get to it. All right, so once again, we can see that this area was our supply area, and we're right back in that supply area. Okay, so we can get the drop, guys. This may be very nicely set up right now. Right, we can even pull out Fibonacci from that high to that low. All right, it's above 60, but that's even better. Right, getting more of a discount. Right, and it's just looking good. Okay, get to the 15 so we can see it in detail. Look at that massive push up. Okay, we can refine the supply area. Right, again, so I'm seeing this here as our last candle. Okay, before that push down. All right, did all the dancing. Right, engineered the liquidity right here. Right, really it was like right here. Right, engineered all that. Okay, again, tried to get you guys to think it was going to drop, which it did, because it has to sell you. Right, But if you just know that this big supply area was where it should have gotten to and it didn't, then you wouldn't necessarily take the sell right here, right? Again, it's not saying that you couldn't have done it and made money. I'm just saying you're more aware of the fact that it didn't get to supply. So if you sold it, hopefully you took your money where it got to the low. You get what I'm saying? It's zone to zone, guys. Zone to zone. So if you sell it from right here, pop quiz chat, right? If you sell it from right here, just where price is right now, where would you want to take your money, right? Somebody, I'm giving y'all a few seconds. Answer that. If you sold it right now, where would you want to get out? Somebody, anybody who got the answer. Feel like Jeopardy. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I got the answer. It's the low right here. All right, so if you sold it right here, you want to take your money right here. Why? Because last time it was here, it shot up. It's just that simple, right? You're selling, so you're selling into the buying pressure. That's it. If you're buying into the selling pressure. All right. It's just what we got going on. All right. So again, potential sell opportunity from that supply, getting right above it, 87 pips or 87 points. If you bring it down to this low, all right, it was delayed, Clarence, but you got it right. I don't know if it's just the computer and the network or whatever, but maybe you guys are hearing me like in a delayed manner, so I got to give you guys more time. But 87 points, right, for 253, right, just getting to that particular low. If we go for that next low, that's 387 or 390, right, a risk of 1 to 5. All right, guys, this can happen right after 10:30. 10:30, paints the high and the low, right? And there's no news today, so that's a good day to use that strategy, right? Find the highest point between highest and lowest point between 9:30 and 10:30 on the indices, right? Just mark them with, just a little line. If the high gets broken, that means price is going to go up for the rest of the day. That's, with the 88% chance, right? If it breaks the low of between 9:30 and 10:30, then it's going to continue falling for the rest of the session with the 88%, probability. Okay, so it gets to be that simple. So in this scenario, what would we want it to do? We would want it to break the low, right? But hopefully, the high is, it gets up in here, right? You know what I mean? Or it gets higher and then it, breaks that low. But here's 9:30, right? Okay, so we're on the 15. That's 45, 30. All right. So right now, this is the lowest point that price has gotten to in terms of 9:30 to 10:30, right? So that's it. So if we want to sell, right, we would want price to show us that it broke below this low, right? And at that point, we're low. So we don't want to sell low, even though it broke low, right? You can sell it, but you're going to have a hell of a stop loss trying to get above here or wherever that 10:30 high might be, right? You understand what I'm saying? So you just wait. You wait for it to pull back to some higher point after it broke that low. You want to sell. It's not going to get higher than it's going to 88% chance it's not going to get higher than that 10:30 high, right? And wherever you can find yourself a fair value gap, a supply area, what have you, you place your order there and get ready to, see what's happening. Okay. It's just what it is, guys, right? 10:30 is around the corner. So again, when it gets there, guys, please make sure that you take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. All right. US 30. Okay, same deal, guys. We got a nice change of character. Again, that tells us we want to continue going down. Where did we initiate that break from? And that'll be right here is our supply. Okay, so again, as the dollar's potentially going down, right, these indices can still rise up to these supply areas. before they drop, right? They're already, NAS and SPY are already in their supply areas. US 30 has a bit more to go to get there, but then when it gets there, guys, you want to look for that drop, right? Take profit here, second take profit probably here, third take profit all the way down, right? And sometimes, right, you may have your take profit set, here, and price just blasts through, right? You know what I mean? You made your money, but I'm just saying it's good to have multiple positions with different take profits, but getting in at the same entry price. Okay. If anybody needs a breakdown of that, let me know. I got you. All right. Yeah. So US 30 hitting in the 15-minute. And again, we can refine everything that we, saw in the higher time frame. So now I'm seeing more of this being our supply area. Okay. And yeah, I mean, that's just really it, guys. Trying to get to a sell opportunity from here, giving myself a little wiggle room, right? Like that. And getting down to these equal lows, because that's where the bullish pressure is. That's 451 points. Again, micro, $451. Mini, 4 bands, standard, 4K. All right. 45K. Right? Ridiculous. US 30 will take you to the promised land. I promise you. Okay. So guys, don't be too afraid. All right. I mean, if you're a rookie, be very afraid. But if you got some, notches under your belt, try to get with these indices, right? They have many versions of them, meaning they don't cost as much to get in and you don't need as much capital to get into a nice position on them where you can, I mean, it's if trading the majors or any other regular Forex pair, with the pip movement that it gives you, it's like driving a bicycle, okay? And then trading the indices is hopping into a Ferrari. So the movement clearly is light years, in difference, right? So just know, right, as exciting as this is, right, you can get smacked, okay? So don't come in here, as a rookie, hearing somebody say, "Oh yeah, 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 trade the indices," and you're like, "Oh yeah, I can make money. Let me go ahead over there," right? If you don't know what you're doing, forget about it, okay? But again, if you can read structure, if you're a patient individual, if you're going to take your chances, if you're not going to crab out the losses, right? If you're going to look for opportunities to get back in, if you're not going to put too much hot sauce on it, you're not over leveraging, you can give it time and things like that. You're gonna be good, right? And you're gonna really be able to see, man, me trading these indices that really ran my account up, right? Shout out to my dog Nate once again. Again, he does 50 to 500, 500 to a band, all within a week, right? I know some of y'all right now. Oh, I could throw 50 in there. What you saying, Bain? Like I can do that too? Of course you can, right? Tap in with me, forexwithbain.com. Let me get that in. Okay, and again, guys, just click on the link to join the Discord. All right, get up in there, and the rest will be history. All right, guys, this will do it for today. Right, we got the indices almost ready for a drop. Again, we may not fill that gap. We may not get to that supply. We might just drop because we don't really know if the dollar is going to truly fall, right? It's still bullish, right? And it can respect this demand area, right? And continue rising, maybe to go fill this gap, maybe to go take out these equal highs or that swing high, right? It could do that still because nothing has changed in the actual uptrend structure. It's just that we got these equal highs that are telling us that potentially it may not want to go higher. What will solidify that it doesn't want to go higher is when it actually breaks below this low, right? At that point, we're like, okay, yeah, you don't want to go higher anymore. You want to potentially just start falling and dropping, all right? And again, kind of hoping for that, right? Because again, we got in a trade on UJ, which is dependent on the dollar falling, right? So coming over to that, all right, so there's our UJ trade. We are down, And yeah, we're still just look playing around in that supply area, okay, because the dollar is indecisive. So UJ is a little indecisive. Again, the JPY index is a little indecisive at that demand area. So the dollar JPY is a little indecisive, but you guys can see we're getting rejection, and now it's slowly but surely starting to push up. So again, either later on today, guys, during the Asian session, 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right, all the way to 3 a.m. Eastern time, is where we may get the movement right on these J's, right? It could happen that way. And then of course, Friday, is typically paydays. It seems like nowadays in the Forex market with the way things are going, right? And it can, jump off on Friday where we get these to play out. So we may get slight push up. We're covered for that on GJ, right? We're in the money, all right? But we still could have a slight push up to go and take out that liquidity, right? Now we got a little fair value gap that's been added right here, all right? But it's not quite official. I mean, it's a fair value gap nonetheless, but I'm thinking about supply. It's not official supply here because we didn't break any lows just yet. All right, that's my old FEG. There's my baby. All right, so here, okay, nice rejection of that FEG, guys, and GJ is tumbling. All because I'm falling in love. Y'all know nothing about that. All right, anyways, right, so here, again, guys, getting to the low of the Asian session, you got yourself a good 80 pips. So like I mentioned, all that JPY got to do is push up a little bit, and this you're getting at least 100 pips minimum on GJ. Right, so we're in the sell on GJ, we're in the sell on UJ. Right, we're looking at gold to look. There you got, guys. Let's just take it. I like what I see. Nice rejection, nice bearish candle that actually closed. Right, I'm gonna sell silver. Oh wait, oh. Like, did it do it? Did it do it? I tried to cancel because I'm in a buy. It won't let me hedge it. But you guys get the idea. All right. It did close it. Damn it. All right. So here. All right. Getting in for the sell. And you guys might see this play out super quick. Okay. Getting right above that wick is how I want to risk it. Because again, I'm going counter trend. Right. I know what I'm in because I know how to read. Right. And that will always help you succeed no matter what it is. Okay, but now we're at the support area, so we can rise and get up out of here. Again, guys, this is a risk. Okay, going against the trend is never really what you want to do, but if you know what you're doing, sometimes you can do that, right? And again, I'm just letting you know, I don't advocate that, right? I don't advocate always trying to catch the pullback, always trying to catch the retracement, right? It's just certain situations where it looks good and you can read it very nicely and you can probably take advantage of it. But ultimately, this is where you want to be getting in from on silver for a buy, right? Because that's your run up. This is going to be a pullback. So then you want the run up. You hardly ever want the pullback, guys, in any direction that it is, right? Whether it's up or down, like if you're getting into or looking for buys or looking for sells, you never want to get into the pullback phases of those buys and sells, because for the most part you get a lot of whiplash, right? They'll entice you to think that they're gonna push it your way, right? You get like now, you think, okay, it's gonna go down, but maybe it's just sweeping liquidity behind this trend line and then it takes off, right? And then you go back and you look and you're like, damn, this silver was up. It was an uptrend the whole time. Why was I selling? Right? Again, it's just, it's little caveats to this, if you will. But when you make your bed, you got to lay in it, right? Just hopefully you're doing it with good reasoning, right? With something telling you that there was a potential opportunity for you to buy or sell that pullback or that retracement, okay? But silver, expecting it to get here and then rise. Gold, same deal, right? Kind of, I see some equal lows here. All right, I see demand area right here. Okay, and again, equal lows. And yeah, and just the fair value gap that, I mean, it got tapped on the top of it, but it didn't get the middle, right? So potential for gold to start getting these equal highs, getting to this demand, getting these, I'm sorry, equal lows, getting to these equal lows, getting to this FEG, and then going and doing the dance. All right. So you can see, look, rise, run, pull back, run, pull back, run. What's next? Pullback. So that pullback may just be a little deeper to sweep the liquidity behind the trend line, get these equal lows, right? Fill this imbalance. And then it has all of our money from whoever bought here and whoever bought here, right? Their stops are right behind there. So it has all of their money, and then it uses it to push it up, right? It's just pretty much that simple, guys. So, you can try to take those sells if you feel like, what I'm saying makes sense. And you want to catch it at a high point, which looking left, we did have bearish pressure that sent us down, creating this double bottom that sent us back up. But yeah, it may pan out for you very nicely. Selling gold, selling silver, right? We in profit, okay? To those areas, and then turning right back around and getting it in the opposite direction. There's no better feeling, guys, when you get into a certain play where you catch both sides, right? She fine and she can cook. Oh Lord. All right. It ain't heaven, right? It's just the best of both worlds. So again, I'm just trying to tell y'all, if you want to get that education and really understand how to do this, right? Get with your boy. All right. Take care of you. All right. Promise. Scout's honor. Pinky cross. Whatever. All right. But there you have it. So still waiting for a dollar to, show a little bit more skin, right? UJ and GJ, I'm sticking with them, right? It's just what it is, right? I like the opportunity on them. Super high, getting in from the high, little structural changes on the lower time frame to tell me that, we have potential of dropping. Even if we lose it, right, I'm still going to be back tomorrow looking for that same opportunity. It may come tonight, right, while I'm training, or me and my team are trading live in the nighttime during the Asian session, or it may come tomorrow, may come next week. Who knows? All I know is I'm going to keep my eyes on the prize, and I'm going to take advantage, right? I'm going to get me. I'm leaving here with something, right? It's just the way it's going to be. All right. So again, guys, give me y'all a minute for any comments, questions, or concerns. Please let me know. AJ is also a very nice sell opportunity. All the J's, really. So just FYI on that. Here's a nice sell opportunity on CHF, CAT CHF right now. So I am going to sell that, but I'm just reviewing a few trades here, guys, just on a bird's eye view. But I do like the sell on CAT CHF. All right. So you guys see it. You see it. The break of the low, the new low, retracement all the way back to supply, mitigating that liquidity, and we got nice rejection with the bearish candle breaking out of that supply. So again, I like it, right? Liquidity behind this trend line and balance here, liquidity with these equal lows and the unmitigated demand. Very nice sell setup, CAT CHF. All right, again, the J's, once again, almost every J pair is going to give us a nice drop, guys. We don't know when, but it's in the vicinity of being ready to happen. All right, so this is one of those situations, like, it's always prepared, and if you're not ready, right, in a blink, that thing will shoot down and you miss out. So try not to miss out. All right, CHF, JPY. All right, so man, it broke my heart, right? But definitely still, giving us an opportunity by going higher to get in at a more, premium price. All right. All right, this actually looks good for a buy Euro CAD. Yeah, this actually looks really good for a buy. Yeah, I'm taking Euro CAD. 111 pip angel numbers. All right, guys, let's get in there. So I got into CAD CHF for a sell, got into Euro CAD for a buy. And there's a correlation there that I just realized, right? CAD CHF, right, is the Canadian dollar versus Swiss franc, and I'm selling it, which means that in that pair, the CAD is weak, right? So here on the Euro CAD, the CAD is on the right. It's the counter currency. So if the CAD is weak, that's going to push the euro up, and I'm in a buy. So just like that, there's correlation without even, having to know that those pairs are correlated in any way, shape, or form. It's just seeing the market structure that it's giving me on these pairs and taking advantage of it. So again, Euro CAD, a buy, CAD CHF, sell. All right. All right. This does look good for a sell, but I'm wary of it, so I'm going to leave it alone. But it does look good. Oh, yikes. Ugly. All right. That's that ugly money. Or what the man say. All right. Here it is. Euro JPY. Like I said, we'll probably get up to that supply, and then we'll get the drop. So JPY, playing with our emotions, but trust and believe it's gonna be on like hot butter popcorn real soon. Euro New Zealand still looks good for a sell, but I would definitely wait for it to kind of get back to a higher point before selling it right here, because it kind of, nice move down and went low, and it's respecting this low for now. So I definitely want to like see it come back up, and then I'll look for a sell. Euro dollar, I believe we're gonna rise, but I don't know if we're gonna fill this imbalance. And then even when I look out further, there's more imbalance to the downside. So Euro USD, yeah, it's kind of got me a little, on the fence, but I do see a rise coming out of it if the dollar starts to fall. All right, man. That pound odd is definitely going to sweep liquidity, probably fill that imbalance. So it may be worth a shot, right? Taking like a position like this, right? That's 50 pips, but just realize that there's imbalance above it. So, it's a tough call, right? Again, it's a major drop already. So, it's just very tough. I can kind of see it coming back and feeling that imbalance because we're at support. So really, I wouldn't sell it, to be honest. All right. Pound CAD. Nah. Let me see. Yeah, it's probably gonna rise also. All right. Get you something on the way back up. That's like New Zealand CAD. All right. We bought New Zealand CAD, so might as well, brother and sister. Right. Getting away probably a very tight stop, and just coming to the top. Yeah, 16 pips, guys. All right. New Zealand CAD, pound CAD, both looking good for buying opportunities. All right. Come on, GJ. All right. Don't do us like the other J's. All right. This is my pound New Zealand. It's finally going to make that last push down to go and hit my TP. And this was such a huge major play, right? Like I said, all it takes is one. So it got down as low as 305, all the way live. Y'all know what time it is. One time for the crib. All right. 305 pips on that, and now, potentially getting to, here 358 pips for the total take profit. But it's setups like these, guys. We got into it from the beginning of the week, right? I was sweating it all last week. Got slapped, right? But then came back strong the next week, and everything that I got slapped on, I got it all back, right? I'm always getting back almost any loss, right? You know what I'm saying? But I'm taking losses. You feel me? I'm taking them like a champ, right? Hit me on the chin, I keep going in. But some of y'all get knocked out, some of y'all tap out, throwing the flag, all that. We don't do that over here. All right. Get stronger, do what you got to do, right? And just come back strong. Pound dollar, again, I kind of see it, getting fair value, potentially rising. These are very tough right now, because the dollar's still a little mixy in this direction, so it's very, very tough to call it. But the way that it's falling, again, is kind of in that way that I told you guys, right? It gives you that little wiggy waggy, way down. So that's kind of like how it's been doing this, right? So I'm seeing that potential rise up out of there. So look out for that. But we may fill that gap and then do the dance on up. All right. All these CAD based pairs are looking bullish. I know we had CAD, some kind of news on CAD. Here was a position that my team took. They're on the 17th, so last week sometime, Friday on the 17th, and look how it like barely took us out and then went in our favor, and then it took us out, right? Because we were aiming for the supply up here, right? So we did, make some money, right? We got a good amount of pips. Let's see, about 30 pips, right, on that, and then took us out. And now it's just completely, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. Again, just being able to see the before and after, right? Once you see it so many times and you see like, man, you didn't really lose it that much, especially if this bad boy takes off and gets up here. It wasn't really about you not knowing what you're doing. It's just your stop was too tight, maybe the timing was off, etc., etc. It's not always the kind of loss that you guys think it is, where you have no clue what it is that you're doing. It's never like that, guys. You can't beat manipulation, right? You can't beat timing, right? And you can't beat you can be over leveraging, but it's just certain things that are in your control, certain things that are not. And you should just focus on what is in your control, like re-entering, right, after you take a loss, if you see that the potential is still there for it to rise, right? So all in that same time, guys, look, all I did was shift it over. So we bought last Friday around the same price point, and now here it is, almost the next Friday, right? Shout out Ice Cube, right? You know what I'm saying? It's almost the next Friday, and we got the same price point to re-enter. So guys, I'm taking that because I bought all the other ones. I bought Pound CAD, I bought Euro CAD, so I'm gonna buy New Zealand CAD, Birds of a Feather. You understand what I'm saying? And it's only a 20 pip stop loss. Whoop, there it is, guys. Right? Now watch. We get what we need to succeed. Right? It's just what it is. Dun, 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 dun. This looks like a nice sell, but there's a gap right above it. So be careful. Yeah, NZD JPY, again, another JPY pair that expecting to get that drop, but we really may just take out all of these supply areas, guys. It's been a rough little roller coaster. All right, but very well may see that happen. All right, so yeah, that'll do it. Just get ready for some stuff today and definitely tomorrow. But other than that, guys, hope y'all have a great morning. Again, appreciate y'all tapping in. Get with me in the Discord. All right, we're gonna get to it. All right, meantime, in between time, y'all have a great morning. Peace.